Hello, this is Nick Roach. We moved the camera outside today. Nice sunny day, thought we'd make the most of it. I'm going to talk about something which I find intriguing and have done for a while, although originally not in a very positive way. It really confused me. And I'm calling this talk I Am Everything and I Am Nothing. When I started, I was taught the stillness within, the sense of I am, is my own being, and everything else, all the emotions, the thoughts, the feelings, everything that comes within that space is not me. And when I became that space sufficiently to a certain level where I understood it in my own being to be self-realization or enlightenment, and I began teaching that, I met quite a lot of resistance from people saying, "You're not it, you can't be it, because there's nobody here. There's nobody here to be it. There's no one here to be enlightened or not enlightened. There's nothing here, so you can't be." And I was stumped, because I'd realized the space, the stillness within, the I am, as me. And that was all that was left. So the idea that having got to the point where only I, the space of I, am left, and everything else was arising within and out of that, but I remain constant, and everybody, in this case, telling me, "But that's not the case, that's not true, there's no one here." And I was saying, "I am here." They're going, "No, you're not." You can see my dilemma. And in our recent book, The Autobiography, I describe that in some detail, the stages I went through and the process I went through, and how I realized what I'm going to explain to you now. I came to understand this dilemma. And actually it's very simple, as so often these things are. Nothing to argue about, just different perspectives. Not unlike, actually, they say, two sides of the same coin, heads and tails. And yet, of course, no one would say heads and the tails are the same thing. They're clearly not. One's a head and one's the animal, tails, some other picture, but they are different. You can see they're different. And yet they are the same coin. And if you were to imagine or manage to take one side away and leave the other, well, you've got a two-dimensional item which cannot exist. You have to have both sides. And that is what I'm going to explain here. I am everything, and I am nothing. What I came to understand, eventually, was how the different perspectives came to be. This was through speaking at some length with a very good friend who had realized the state of nothing and being just naturally, without any effort, without any focusing on the sense of I am, the stillness, without any of that. It happened naturally. And eventually for him, there is just being. There is nothing here. And that got me thinking. I had spent 20, 25 years holding on to the stillness, the space, the I am, knowing, believing, knowing ultimately that I am that. And of course, when everything else had been taken away and that stillness was all that was left, I was all that was left. The being that I am. It was all that was left. However, if one follows the path where they've spent their life in their imagination and the emotions, the normal way to live, the ups and downs, the liking, the disliking, all the usual stuff, identifying with that as their own being, and imagine for such a person that is all taken away from them, what's left? Nothing. As far as the mind, the interpreting mind is concerned, they, the person, has gone. There's nothing left. There's just being. There's just awareness. There's nothing, because everything that I was has gone. There is nothing left. And I'm in that same state. But I was always the space where it occurred. So when everything was taken away from me, I, the bit my interpreting mind identified with as being me, remained. So I remain. One might even say that it's incorrect to use the term I am. I mean, here I am, but in the experience of it, it is the I. Almost the amness has gone. There's just the I. However, I'm going to take this explanation a step further. That was what I saw originally, and that was what I described in my autobiography. But it goes deeper now. You see, I said it is two sides of the same coin. I focused on the being behind existence. The I, the stillness, the observer, the awareness, is the higher self, if you'd like to use that word, is the energy behind and supporting, without the term energy, we have to use language here, supporting everything. I identified as that, and I've become that, and in doing so, the experience is for me that everything that exists, everything that is within me, is within the being that I've realised I am. Everything is my own being. This is myself in form. Everything is me. I am this. However, from the physical perspective, and look, I've got a body still, here I am, I can feel all this, and when I'm focusing on this feeling, the sensation, what is within me? Nothing. There's nothing within me. I'm nothing. There's nothing here. There's nothing happening. There's nothing going on. There's just being. So I am nothing. And yet, I am everything. And if someone says one or the other in isolation, everything is knocked out of kilter, because it needs both. It needs the space of being within, the awareness, the I, and it needs a physical reality in order to experience itself and experience being separate. That's not new. So having got these two polarities, we then have the same two polarities in the experience of it. I am the being creating it, behind it. I am the one being, I am everything. And yet, here I am in the physical body, and here I am nothing. And I have those two experiences in the same moment. Now, I am everything, I am nothing. Of course I keep saying I'm not special. It's within the individual to realise this within themselves. So that's fine. I'm not talking about Nick Roach specially, it's just the experience of I am. So I say here, I am everything, and I am nothing. And there is no confusion, there's no contradiction. It's just the way of being. Thank you.